Welcome to this explainer on the absolutely explosive industrial safety wearable market. Today, we're going to cut right through the marketing hype. We're looking at what actually works on the factory floor, what the real-world challenges are, and how you can leverage this tech to fundamentally change how your operation manages risk.
To really understand why this matters, I want you to picture two workers on the exact same assembly line. First, we have Daniel. It's mid-morning, he's running hot, his movement patterns are clearly showing fatigue, but nobody flags it. Fast forward 3 days, and boom, he suffers a herniated disc. That's what a reactive safety culture looks like. It leads to 11 weeks off work and a massive 6-figure claim. Now let's look at worker 2, Michael, doing the exact same job 6 months later. But Michael is wearing a smart vest. At 11:23 a.m., the system detects his core temp rising and his movements shifting into that danger zone. A dashboard instantly alerts his supervisor, he gets a 15-minute water break, and he goes home perfectly fine. The difference isn't that management suddenly cared more. It's that wearables made previously invisible risks totally visible.
And you know, this ability to see the invisible, it's driving a massive, massive shift. By the end of this decade, the combined market trajectory for connected safety wearables, smart PPE, and exoskeletons is projected to hit $47 billion, with a B. That is a staggering number. This isn't just some niche trend anymore. It is literally one of the fastest-growing segments in the entire occupational safety industry.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why is this explosion happening right now? Well, it all comes down to 3 converging operational pressures. First up, the sheer cost of injuries. Musculoskeletal disorders, or MSDs, cost billions annually in claims and lost productivity. Second, we're looking at an aging industrial workforce. They need physical assistance to stay safe, and honestly, we need them to retain all that valuable institutional knowledge. And third, the tech is finally actually ready. I mean, devices from 5 years ago, they were pretty fragile, but today's wearables are rugged, washable, and they can even operate in super low connectivity environments.
Section 1. The Wearable Safety Arsenal.
So this brilliantly illustrates the breadth of the current safety wearable ecosystem. It's almost like a giant puzzle of protection. We're looking at smart helmets, exoskeletons, body sensors, gas detectors, and ergonomic wearables. We've mapped each of these to their primary use cases and highlighted some of the leading brands really pushing the envelope here, like Guardhat, Hilti, Slate Safety, and Blackline. Let's break down how each of these actually functions out there on the floor.
We'll start with the device every single worker already wears, the classic hard hat. For decades, it was literally just a piece of passive plastic, right? Well, not anymore. Today, brands like Guardhat, Trimble, and RealWear have completely transformed it into an active communication and mixed reality hub. We're talking real-time GPS, automatic fall detection, and two-way voice and video. It's wild. Some of these even use Microsoft HoloLens technology to project complex engineering diagrams directly over the physical environment. That is a real game changer for reducing coordination errors on complex sites.
Now, if smart helmets are all about information, exoskeletons are entirely about physics. They physically assist movements to reduce those debilitating musculoskeletal claims we talked about. On the passive side, you have things like the Hilti X001. These use mechanical springs, so no batteries required, to capture and release energy. They can reduce muscular strain during overhead tasks by up to 40%. Then, on the powered side, you have rigs like the Sarcos Guardian XO. These use motors and sensors to actively assist a single worker in safely lifting loads up to 90 kilograms. It's incredible to see in action.
Let's move to and see how this builds when we introduce body sensors and smart vests. These devices answer one absolutely critical question. How is this specific worker doing physiologically right this exact second? Slate Safety, for example, tracks biometrics to catch the early signs of heat stress before the worker even feels it. Rhombit embeds sensors into vests to alert both the worker and, say, a forklift driver if they're on a collision course. And StrongArm, they track continuous ergonomic posture analytics throughout the entire shift to spot repetitive strain risks before they become injuries.
For those of you in oil and gas, utilities, or doing confined space work, this next category is a literal lifeline. Personal gas detectors, like the new Blackline Safety G8, provide continuous atmospheric monitoring directly on the worker. They feature GPS that actually works in tricky industrial environments, multi-gas detection, and, crucially, automated man-down alerts. If a worker loses consciousness from a gas exposure, the system automatically escalates those alerts until a rescue team is dispatched to their exact pinpoint location.
Across the board, what we're really seeing here is a major shift toward continuous, quantified, workforce-wide monitoring. Specifically in ergonomics, we are finally moving away from those infrequent, manual assessments based on a safety officer just randomly observing a shift. Instead of waiting around to manage the consequences of bad posture through workers' comp after the fact, you get proactive, data-driven prevention. You're capturing every bend, twist, and lift, all day, every day.
Section 2. Choosing your tech and building the business case.
All right, so we've seen the tech. It's super cool. But how do you actually secure the financial approval from leadership and get this gear onto your site? Faced with dozens of competing brands and categories, the most common question operations directors ask us is simply, where do I even start? Honestly, it can feel a bit overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Let's look at a very practical decision framework to guide you through this.
So, the crucial point is matching the specific tool to your exact operational hazard. First, identify your highest cost injury type. If it's manual handling, you're definitely going to look at exoskeletons. If it's heat stress, look at biometric sensors. Second, assess your workforce size and their tech readiness to decide between a small, targeted pilot or a fully integrated dashboard. Third, check your connectivity. If you're underground, your tech absolutely needs offline capabilities. And fourth, you have to address worker response and privacy up front, otherwise the gear just won't get worn.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the financial story it tells, because when it comes to management, excitement doesn't get funding. Numbers do. Look at the undeniable ROI right here. A single herniated disc claim can easily exceed $100,000 in direct and indirect costs. Compare that to the tiny bar on the right, the $3,500 to $5,000 unit cost of a highly advanced smart helmet or exoskeleton. Even if you only see a conservative 20% reduction in injuries, that still typically leads to a 12 to 24-month payback period. The math is just incredibly compelling.
But hey, let's be totally honest about the implementation realities on the ground for a second, because this is the difference between a successful rollout and super expensive tech just gathering dust in a storeroom somewhere. You have to manage battery charging discipline every single day. You have to plan for connectivity gaps in facilities with thick concrete walls. You absolutely must be transparent and address worker privacy concerns regarding their biometric data. You have to configure the systems carefully to avoid alert fatigue. And your legal team needs a rock-solid data governance framework. Handle these 5 things, and you win.
Because when you get it right, you unlock the ultimate vision here. I want to quote the foundational research directly on this. The value is not just in preventing individual incidents. It's in the aggregate picture of your workforce's health at a systemic level. The leading companies out there are building a fully unified safety ecosystem. Biometric, environmental, locational, and ergonomic data. The whole shebang, all feeding into a single real-time operational dashboard. Safety stops being this periodic checklist and becomes a continuous, data-rich capability.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question for you to consider today. Will you remain a compliance administrator? Simply managing the paperwork of the past? Or will you step up to become a strategic safety intelligence leader? The technology to completely change your entire safety culture is available right now. So, what unsolved safety challenge in your operation are you going to tackle first? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay safe out there and never stop learning.